Welcome to the Worthy Bitch podcast, the place where we discuss all things self-worth so we can stop living life as a victim and start living life on purpose. My name is Autumn. I'm your host and the creatrix of the Worthy Bitch. I am so excited that you have made the decision to embark on your Worthy Bitch journey. Now let's dive into ourselves. Are you allowing it? That is the question. You know, it is a lot easier to feel good about life when things are going your way, isn't it? When things are not going so smoothly, it is when it becomes a little harder to enjoy, a little harder to focus on the good. This is where faith comes in. We are divinely created for ebbs and flows. This is your guidance system. I was in a place yesterday that I really enjoy being. The weather was perfect and I was comfortable, and the book I was studying had just the info that my soul was craving at that moment. I felt the tingles. Everything in me loved that moment, wanted to hold on to it for as long as possible. Then I had a thought. What am I going to do after this? Vata mind, squirrel brain. See, there I went, pulling myself right out of that delicious moment by placing my attention elsewhere. It is nothing new, but this time I noticed it as soon as it happened. This is the power of awareness, practiced over time. I'm still a newbie at this, but I am dedicated and I can't wait to see how my ability to consciously create transforms throughout the course of my life. Anyways, since I noticed it, I was able to stop that thought and return to the moment. Meditation skill. Once again, diving into those good feelings, that blissful feeling of everything else in the world slipping away. There are no problems in this place, nothing to worry about, just the beauty and pleasure of a moment well lived, enjoyed. It was a beautiful feeling. As my time in that moment began to slip into the time it was for me to move on, I had another thought. What if I could make this feeling last forever? You know what answer I got? Do you even want to know? Spirit told me that I wouldn't like it. Not only that, but I wouldn't and won't allow it. Now think about that for a second. The same is true for you. It is human nature to ebb and flow, to go through something and move into something else. Feel things, experience energies in motion through the body. It is part of this life and it is natural. I often ebb and flow between the feelings of love and hatred. Even the word hatred is a trigger for me. It sounds so harsh, like I'm wrong for feeling it at times. But no emotion is wrong. Do I want to plant the feelings of hatred within my being and grow the fruits of those energies? Absolutely not. But that doesn't mean that I am wrong for having moved through that emotion. I have been this way all my life. Even as a child, I would feel guilty or ashamed of myself for being anything other than happy, which I was a lot, and I still am. Hello, Scorpio sun. Family often unwittingly intensified this cycle through reminding me of my moods and picking fun at them, as families often do. I think. I'm just observing here. I'm never judging. It is about learning to slow down and melt into the moments that give you the tingles. And picking up the pace when things don't feel good, speeding up those energies to move through them as quickly as possible. Stop condemning yourself for being a human. That is what you came here to do, obviously, or you wouldn't have your biological spacesuit, as Shaman Durek would say. This body is created to move energies through. Emotions equal energy in motion. To move feelings and thoughts. The energies flow through you like a river, a current flooding through your channel. That is how I am able to even write this right now. It is only when you clog your channel and block the water that you begin to experience the feeling of the ebb and flow. That's the funny thing about the flow. We don't usually notice it when it's going our way, but we definitely start to notice when things are not. Going back to the thing I said about how I'm writing this, I just want to share with you here that I never really know what is going to come out of me when I feel called to write. I will have maybe the first sentence or two floating into my awareness repeatedly as a flashing light telling me to enter here. But when I try to take my thoughts past it, to add to it or go deeper into the thought, I cannot. I just think that same sentence over and over, seeing it over and over. It wants to be written. Listen, I have a pact with Spirit that I have been strengthening over time. It goes like this. I trust that I am always being divinely guided. I always say the right thing at the right time, in the right way, to the right people, for the right reasons, in the right place. I am always in the right place, at the right time, with the right people, for the right reasons, in the right ways. I trust that I am always being divinely guided. It is my job to pay attention to what Source, God, is telling me. If you've been listening for a while, then you've probably heard me say this. Now, this is where things get a little tricky. We often have this idea of how messages from the divine should be, and this expectation blinds us to what is coming through. Spirit speaks in all sorts of ways. Okay, let's get clear here. If you want Spirit to speak to you in a certain type of way, so that you can easily recognize it and when you see it, then make sure that you make that very clear and specific when you are communicating with Source, i.e., praying or meditating. The universe wants to give you what you want, but first you have to know what that is. So if you're not getting specific, then make sure that you are getting aware, open-minded, with healthy boundaries, of course. Don't let someone come in and get you to join their cult or anything. Source communicates in many ways. One of the most common and easily received being your own thoughts. This is tough for many people to understand because Source doesn't come in all God-like with a deep echoing voice in your head saying, "This is God speaking." Source comes through with thoughts as your own voice. Source comes through your thoughts as your own voice. Source comes through your thoughts as your own voice. Pay attention. This is where discerning your thoughts is important. I have a whole podcast episode about this on the Worthy Bitch podcast, episode 19, how to be discerning with your mind. Just because it pops into your head doesn't mean you have to believe it or even put your attention on it. You can choose to send it away. You have the power to control what thoughts you allow to hang out in your being. Same goes for emotions and feelings and everything, really. So if it gives you good feelings and feels loving, then it is from your spirit. And if it feels bad, then it is not of you, and it is your job to send it away. I never know what is going to come through me when I sit down to write. I heard Sahara Rose say this once in a podcast when she sat down to record and shared that she rarely plans her solos and doesn't know what will come through when she feels called to record. This intrigued me because having just started my own podcast, I couldn't really imagine not having to plan my episodes. Sure, I had a couple of them that I had channeled through, but my first probably 20 episodes are pretty planned and structured. They just get better and better each time, as with anything in life. Then I got the hang of it and realized what she meant. It is about taking inspired action in the moment, like I'm doing right now, when something keeps flashing at you like that enter here I was talking about. Well, then you better go and enter, damn it. As with everything in life, this gets easier over time and with practice. Trusting the process. Deciding to be a person who takes inspired actions, follows what feels good, what gives you those tingly feelings of all being right, if only for a moment. Nobody knows what is going to happen from moment to moment, and nobody knows how to respond or show up from one moment to the next. I will tell you a secret that changed my life. Everyone is just winging it. Every day. All the time. That is where the expression fake it till you make it comes from. Believe it, embody it, allow it, embrace it. This is what creates truly great leaders. One of the many qualities. Source is always flowing through, trying to speak to you, to give you the answers you seek. Are you allowing it? That is the question. Are you allowing yourself to receive? Whether it be answers, love, money, joy, pleasure, excitement, material goods, whatever you want, are you allowing it to come to you? Or are you so focused on the lack thereof that there is no room for it to come in any other way? Or are you asking for something that you are afraid to receive? I see this all the time in my own life. I am simultaneously fascinated and terrified by expansion, growth, and change. The older I get, the more intensely I feel this fear. The more consciously I have to move through it. The more honest I have to get with myself. Maybe it feels that way because as a kid, you have very little contrasting experience letting you know what you like versus you don't like. As an adult, you have a much better understanding of the kind of life you want to live, and one that is not being reflected back to you in your current reality, then you gotta get realer with yourself. You have to start making conscious moves towards the yes and away from the no, which often times is very uncomfortable to do because the reason you know something is a no is because you are in it, and moving towards yes feels a lot like making changes and doing things differently. What is that about? That shit can suck. And now since you know that you don't want X, you have to do something to lose it. And now since you know that you don't want X, you have something to lose if you don't get what you want. If things don't start opening up in that direction, then you might feel worse. And what if you get there and then you have to go back to where you were, which isn't even possible because everything moves forwards, even things that try so hard not to. This is what causes depression. What we don't realize is what we are losing, missing out on by not going for it. Abraham Hicks says that the contrast is necessary for the focus. That doesn't just go for photos. Trust yourself to expand. Trust yourself to move into the next phase of your life, to be stronger, smarter, sexier, healthier, wealthier, happier, lovier, anything you want here. Yeah. Easier said than done, right? Yes and no. It all just depends on what you believe gets to be true for you. See, for me, I'm over here making space, clearing out the old and opening up a spot for something new. I am available for the shortcut, the fast track, the impossible moment, a miracle. Let me have it. Send it to me. I am ready. Do you hear me, universe? I am available for the best of the best or something better. Send me my miracle already. I am willing to receive. I'm ready and willing to receive. Are you? If you are sitting there like, wow, I need to get real with myself, then I invite you to dive into what Ayurveda Ish has to offer you. A whole new understanding of yourself, your mind, your body, your friends, your family, your world, your pets, everything. Ayurveda truly helps life make sense, like the handbook you wish you were handed the day you were born. I want to introduce you to it. It is yours. Comment pick me below or check out my website to schedule a value call to get some next steps to embark or continue on your Ayurveda journey. I'll see you on the other side. I love you.
And if you loved this episode, don't forget to subscribe and rate and share with a friend who needs to hear it. Also, I would love if you could leave me a review on iTunes and take a screenshot and email it over to me at theworthybitch@gmail.com. That's theworthybtch@gmail.com. Link is in the show notes, and I will send you a free gift of my 30 affirmations for the doshas that will assist you in your practice to find balance. And as always, I thank you so much for taking this time today to show up for yourself and do the work. Keep living life on purpose, my worthy bitches.